Hey, come on in and welcome to A Win is a Win podcast, where sports and everything else collide. Comfortable? All right. Let's go, Dr. T.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. That's right. We are back. And we have a lot to go over. It has been a week of selective memory, and we are going to break all of it down because it really, it has pissed me off and got a lot to get off my chest in this episode. But don't forget to like the podcast and subscribe to the podcast. And don't forget to tell someone to tell somebody else to join A Win is a Win. And listen, when you pull up over here, it don't cost you a thing. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when a new episode drops. You can catch us on Spotify for audio. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts for audio, or wherever you get your podcast. We drop a couple of YouTube shorts a couple times out of the week. And you can also go to our Substack and catch our blogs a couple times out of the week as well. And we will make sure that you have the appropriate link so that you can follow us on all of our socials as well. Listen, I don't want to waste y'all time, and I don't want to keep y'all because what we have witnessed in this past week was something very dangerous to the culture. And sometimes it be your own people. The normalization of disrespecting greatness to make mid points louder has never been so evident. This past week, two of our culture's pillars, Nasir Jones and Kobe Bryant, became targets in a wave of revisionist foolishness and bullshit. That's right. First up, we have Jim Jones trying to downplay Nas's relevance in hip hop, period. Not even today's hip hop, but just hip hop, period. Calling him like not relevant, not hot, however he wanted to word it so that it could just catch the algorithm. Um, and I guess you can say he wanted to say he's not relevant for this era. Meanwhile, Kobe's legacy was dragged to hell into the ring culture conversation that LeBron just so conveniently brought up for whatever reason he felt like bringing it up, because we all know why. Go back and listen to the previous episode because I do not want to go down that rabbit hole again. And to me, I feel like his name was dragged through the mud by folks trying to elevate LeBron's career, not only by twerking and, throwing ones all over their asses for him, by minimizing Kobe's career, just to elevate LeBron's. The man is no longer living, and I can guarantee you this one thing is for certain, that those same arguments that people were so comfortably having behind microphones, sitting on their couches, on stages, and whatever else, and wherever else they were having them, if Kobe Bean Bryant were alive and breathing, God rest that man's soul, they would not have the balls or dicks to say it to his face. So let's set the record straight. We're going to start with Jim Jones, but for context, let's dig into the crates and see exactly what he had to say about Nas. For better context, let's start with what he had to say on Joe and Jada.
My son can't tell you one Nas record. You heard? Like, let's keep it a buck here. Yeah, let's keep it a buck. You heard? Let's keep it a buck because you'll bring it up. You want to go to the Billboard entries, pull up Nas Billboard entries, then pull up my Billboard entries. Listen, we can't compare the two. What I'm trying to tell you is I want to go there and hold on.
Furthering double down, and he goes on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and he keeps going.
When you say you better than Nas, I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals would be idols. Let's get this right. I'm way more influential than Nas, and I don't care what nobody say. I know I made a little boo-boo when we talk about the sales and all this type of shit. And go to the billboards and check all my entries I've been putting on. So let's not get into that where we get into numbers and I got to show you the statistics of what I've done. You heard to what other people was done. He had a little bit of run. But Nas always came up second in Jay and DMX and all these other people. Like he never had that type of influence on us, except for his first album. I already told you, I used to want to dress like Nas because he had a lot of fresh clothes that the hustlers used to wear. We used to see him on TV. He had one of the illest albums of all time. And then in high school when he had the barbecue and shit like that. So I'm a real fan of Nas, but he kind of lost me after the movie Belly.
Now, here's the thing, though. What got me was he went on to Bag Fuel, I believe it was, and said that, this is the most relevant that Nas has been since Jim has brought him up. Nas didn't say anything. Matter of fact, Nas responded without responding by simply just putting out an ad by saying, I don't get into all of that. I'm just going to continue, handling my business by making my business. And that is bringing a casino to the hood, elevating my projects and putting something here that matters, bringing jobs and other things to Queens, which is a casino deal. And that's how I'm responding. And what also pissed me off is that while you're on Bag Fuel, Heineken and Esso, these are people that are from Queens. Queens get the money is what we always hear from, especially Esso. But then y'all don't back up Nas at all. You just letting Jim, and perhaps that's just because you want the clicks, you want the views, you want the sensationalism of whatever he's talking about to catch the algorithm so you can get more views. But then again, that's the problem. No one is standing on business. Like, all right, now you got to chill. Hey, Jim, you got to chill. Now, Joe, in his interview, alluded to that. Said, hey, yo, no, we can't do that. Now you got to stop. You got to stop this. Jim Jones saying Nas isn't relevant is like saying water isn't wet. It's just not wrong. It's delusional. I mean, it's like Jim Jones must have lost the aux cord somewhere. This is a man who, Nas, dropped 6 albums in 4 years, all critically acclaimed, won a Grammy finally after being snubbed for King's Disease. Still, to date, gets named, dropped in every conversation about lyricism, legacy, and longevity. Meanwhile, no disrespect to Jim, but if Nas is not hot, what does that make your Spotify streams? Are you tired of overpriced groceries and limited options at the supermarket? Because I know I am. Well, try Misfit Marketplace, where every box is packed with delicious organic produce at up to 40% off retail prices. That's right. You get your fresh fruits to colorful veggies. Misfit Marketplace delivers quality ingredients straight to your door. Visit misfitmarket.com and use code POD20, that is POD20, to get 20% off your first order, and tell them that Dr. T sent you. Eat well, save money, and join the Misfit movement today. Nas could walk into any venue in Queens to Qatar and get a standing ovation. Jim couldn't even get standing room in a Nas set list. Yeah, I'm that kind of pissed off. Nas raps for grown minds. Maybe that's why Jim couldn't even hear what Nas is saying. Nas is the type of artist who doesn't chase trends, he outlasts them. Can't call a man washed when he still inspires the very rappers who inspired you. Kobe didn't die so y'all could play with his damn name. That man didn't die for that. And the same people that's sitting up in his funeral with tears in your eyes, crying, snotting and sniffing and shit, the same ones that's sitting on the couch playing with this man's name, his legacy. Like his kids ain't watching y'all talk about him. Like his wife ain't watching y'all talk about him. Like his fans, real fans that know better, watching y'all play in this man's face. Especially the indirect snub of Mr. LeBron James, who sat up there and said rings don't matter. Let me ask you something. I'm going to act like LeBron was sitting here in my face. LeBron, Mr. James. If Kobe were sitting here with me, right here next to me, two things. Would you tell him why you didn't go to his funeral? And would you tell him that rings don't matter? Because for the same man that you respect, you didn't even show up for him. Oh, you wasn't there. We didn't forget. And even for the same man that you didn't show up, now you got this whole sideline as irrelevant debate that you just letting fly. You letting this whole debate fly for a man that you say you respect, for a man that say you hold in high regard. You sitting here watching your peers drag this man to hell and back, and he died in a tragic way with his child. And you not even stopping the shit. Here's where things cross the line. On Gil's Arena and across the NBA, Twitter, whatever that shit's called. People were arguing that Kobe isn't top 10. He only won one MVP. One MVP? So that's the metric now? Let's take a listen to some of this sound before I go any further. Start with Gil's Arena.
Kareem, that's how it would look. So when you say, why isn't Kobe in the top 10? He only has one MVP. Everybody in front of him has multiple MVPs.
You sound like a man that ain't won.
No, I'm talking
like a man that ain't won a ring.
I'm not talking from my brawn.
So then we have T-Mac. And this is where, Gil took me over the edge for about 10 minutes that he was talking. And then this is what really made me almost throw my phone right here.
Place me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
Correct.
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs to elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance. So do I get diminished because I never won a championship? Right. Place me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship.
Okay, so here we go. This is T-Mac talking during the Fanatics, so whatever this crap was that they had going on, right? Okay. Couldn't even get out of round one of the playoffs at all. T-Mac. And then later, subsequently, whether you issued the apology because people were on your ass about it, or whether you were sincere and you went home and you sat with yourself and you said, no, this don't feel right. I was out of line. Or did you decide to apologize because of the pressure from the fans, or the pressure from your peers, or the pressure from looking at Vanessa and what she's posting on social media to say, no, I I messed up. But even though this might have been talked about when you all played together, the man was alive. It was a conversation that you had to his face. It was a conversation that y'all had in a locker room. Let that stay on the court when that man was alive. So now you want to double down on it. You want to enter the conversation, and you further want to now stand on this shit after a flagrant ass conversation that's brought up about ring culture. Let's break this down. MVP voting in the 2000s was a popularity contest penalizing dominance. Kobe had 5 rings, 2 final MVPs, 18 All-Star appearances, 12 All-Defense nods. He gave us 81 points, 60 in his farewell, and gave your favorite player their worst nights. So when LeBron says ring culture don't matter, or it's whack, or however he wants to, dress it up, and y'all co-sign by dragging Kobe through the mud and hell for having rings but fewer MVPs, what y'all really saying is you're more interested in erasing a killer's legacy than respecting a complicated icon. Kobe wasn't built to be liked. He was built to win. And in my opinion, Kobe didn't chase rings. Rings chased Kobe. This culture, to me, loves to uplift players who are media safe, activist adjacent, or soft-spoken. Kobe didn't fit that mold. And he dominated. And that's what scares the entire shit out of people. So why is this bigger than basketball? Here's what this past week, really showed me. I'll speak for myself. Is we hate what we can't control. Nas and Kobe represent Black excellence without apology. They weren't interested in Nas still being here, isn't interested in being industry darlings. I'll just say it like that. They weren't social media hype boys. Let me put it in that way. They didn't beg for acceptance from outsiders or insiders. They just did the work consistently and masterfully. So when folks like Jim Jones try to tear down Nas to boost themselves, or when LeBron fans diminish Kobe to make a GOAT case, and be clear, there needs to stop being conversations about the GOAT and Kobe's not in it. Because the GOAT conversation is always MJ and LeBron. Oh, no, you got to put Kobe in that. Just wanted to put that in there. So let me go back. When LeBron fans diminish Kobe to make a GOAT case, it's not about facts. It's about insecurity. Stop tearing down Black men who choose legacy over fucking likability. Put some respect where it belongs. Nas doesn't need to prove anything to Jim Jones, just like he didn't. He said a whole lot without saying shit. Kobe didn't need a second MVP to prove that he's or was top 5. They already did what most will never do. They mastered their crafts. They stayed elite for decades. Kobe died. Nas is a living legend. And let's protect them just the fuck like that. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to tell somebody else to join A Win is a Win. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And I'll catch y'all next week. Peace.